people are not really against paying tax. They are only against paying taxes and not getting value. The original, the objective of pulling their resources together is to fund public expenditures. The narrative gradually changed where the focus is now no longer public expenditure funding, but personal, private, pocket, and stomach infrastructure. People are paying taxes. When I mean people are paying tax in hundreds of millions, organizations are paying tax in this very nation. In this very nation, they are paying taxes. So the reason why that distrust came in now is because we are paying, but it looks like we are not seeing the evidence, right? You as you're talking about, the reason why even the wealthy people can't flaunt their riches is because the tax attached to the riches, it keeps everybody humble. The big shots, why they will not pay is because their brother is in FRS. Hello, Alpha, make a tax clearance certificate for 2025 ready for my company. Yes, sir.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of In Their Shoes, where we talk about how leadership decisions affect everyday Nigerians, especially us, the youths. In this show, we talk, we argue, we drag when necessary, but we definitely ask the question, what would you do differently if you were in power? My name is Akarisia Kwevu Mukoro, and today we'll be talking about taxes. I know. Taxes to a normal everyday Nigerian sounds like problem. Do you know, as an unemployed youth, you may have been paying taxes without even knowing? That was the same reaction I had when I found out that before I was gainfully employed, I had actually been paying taxes without even knowing. All my small 10k, 20k that I'm using to chill, I've been paying taxes on top. Don't worry, we'll get to the gist of everything, but I won't be alone. With me in the studio is our guest, Mr. Joseph Audam. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome.
Thank you.
Together, we'll be dissecting this topic. So, Mr. Audam, let us know you. Who is Mr. Joseph?
Okay, so my name is Audam Joseph. By profession, I'm an accountant. By profession, by the grace of God, a qualified chartered accountant. For that matter, you get it, like Okay. Yeah, I'm a lover of finance very, very well. I'm also a management and financial consultant, where I consult for both government entities and private organization. However, aside work, I'm very passionate about leadership. Yeah, and I have over the years fan to flame, I would say, or rather honed my leadership skills by being part of 1, 2, 3 different programs. Yeah, so basically that's just the little I would say about Joseph.
Sure, you guys are hearing. These are Nigerian youths. Nigerian youths are not lazy. The way he was just saying it. Chartered accountant, I'm spread leadership. Okay. Okay, so let's get into today's topic.
Yeah.
So, very first of all, I know Nigerians don't like taxes. You don't, no one hear them.
Do you love taxes, you too?
Me, I don't like it. But we want to know from a fellow Nigerian youth, what are taxes and why should we even pay them?
Okay, you permit me to start with Benjamin Franklin words. He said, in this world, 2 things are certain: death and taxes. Death and taxes. But unfortunately, in this part of the world, there's only one thing that's certain, and that's death.
Okay.
Yeah, I've come across this quote a long time ago, but it didn't make any sense. But while putting in my thoughts together, it begins to make sense. 2 things are certain: death and taxes. But this part of the world, the only certain thing for now is just death. Tax itself, it's not certain. And then you see a lot of definitions even on the social media space, people talking about tax. I saw one funny one recently. The guy said tax is fine you paid for doing wrong.
That's the Nigeria. That's what I'm telling you. We don't like taxes. That's the Nigerian explanation.
Let me rephrase that. I think what he was trying to establish is this: tax is what you pay, right, for doing well rather. Then fine is tax you pay for doing wrong.
In fact, please, fine and tax is the same thing to Nigeria.
Actually, they are not the same thing. Actually, they are not the same thing. You know, fine means you have violated a set principles, a set standard. You could meet up with a deadline or probably reporting certain informations, and then you are being fined. Now, it doesn't mean you won't pay tax. In most cases, you pay both tax and fine.
So what is tax?
So tax, in a very simple parlance, they are mandatory, and I use the word mandatory intentionally. They are mandatory payment. They are mandatory amounts. They are mandatory percentages that are they are being imposed on citizens for at individual level or at corporate level. By corporate level, I'm talking about organizational level now.
Yeah.
Then by individual level, we're talking about individuals, some of those things that we can't do without, but they are compulsory and they are imposed. You don't have a choice when it comes to the matter of tax.
I don't like what I'm hearing.
I know you're not like it.
I'm not liking this.
But I mean, you don't have a choice. When it comes to the issue of tax, you don't have a choice. It is imposed. Very, very important. It is imposed.
Why do we have to pay this taxes?
Okay. Originally, tax is a source of revenue to the government. And not just government. Even though we're going to narrow our conversation to government, right? We could just come up in an organization. Let's say we're working here. Okay, on our salaries, we're going to be taking 80% of everybody's salary. We want to keep it up in the welfare pot, so to say. That becomes mandatory as long as you're a staff, especially if it is captured in your, employment letter or offer letter. So it is also tax, but quote unquote, because it is not given, because it's a mandatory, it's a compulsory thing that must happen. So it can be classified as a tax also. And for this tax, we have different categories of taxes.
Okay.
But please, we must note that the essence of tax is to generate revenue. And the essence of that revenue generated is to fund public. And I'm emphasizing on this. The idea is to fund public expenditure.
We love this. Yeah.
That's what I'm emphasizing. The essence is to fund public expenditures. Talking about schools, roads, infrastructures, whatever it is you want to talk about. The idea is, okay, let's pull these resources together as reasonable citizens. That's the idea behind tax. How we love good roads. Good roads cannot fall from heaven. So how do we get it? Okay, can we, that your little money you're spending every day, can we get a portion from it? VAT. Can we get a portion from your company income that you're making? That's why you have the company income tax. So the idea is, just like cooperative, why are we putting money together? So that we make sure that the welfare of everybody is there. That's the original essence of tax. To ensure that as we collect this little, we are funding public. And I'm making this emphasis on public because, whatever is the narrative in any nation of the world, whether it has been turned to private, that's a matter for another day. But the idea is to fund public expenditures. And they talk about different types of tax. We have the VAT, value added tax, as a common one that every Nigerian is paying, even though it seems like we are not too aware, like you said. Somebody said, he has been paying tax in this country. I mean, as long as you buy anything in this country, you are paying tax.
So that brings me to this value added tax. Is the VAT, right? That's VAT. So, wait, I don't want to. So when I go to supermarket and say, I want to buy this cream, or I go to cinema, I go and watch a movie. That VAT is not the company that is paying it. Is it the company that is paying it, or is me that? It's me that.
All right, so that's 7.5%. That's the rate for VAT, value-added tax. There's what we call VAT input and VAT output. That computation is usually when audit process is taking place. So many people don't have an idea about that. So even this supermarket you're talking about, right? When they were buying the product, they paid tax. They paid VAT to wherever they bought it from. Now they've collected tax from you on the same product.
Does it include like maybe you go to the market or this like Garki market? So we're still paying tax somehow.
We are because an average business person would have considered cost of production, and for some cost of sales.
Yeah.
What's it going to cost me to sell this particular item? Oh, I bought this shoe from Lagos. They brought it down to maybe Abuja. How much did I spend? The person will go and pick the total amount from maybe the alert, the debit alert. And that total amount already have inclusive in it VAT. So it now serves as the base for judgment what I'm going to sell this thing at. Oh, I'm not going to sell at okay, the thing got here at 5,000. I'm going to sell at 5,500 to make my profit.
Wow.
So if we want to start opening, there are a lot of multiple taxation that takes place. But don't worry, we're not going there today.
We're not opening.
Yet, so basically, we're paying tax. These organizations also remit VAT. So it's very important we note that as Nigerians. This one just collected. No, they are not the one collecting your tax. They are going to remit all of those VATs that they've collected by those organizations. They are remitting back to the government. Yes. Gege.
Wow. So you guys, do you understand why I've been saying that? Okay, it seems like you've been paying tax. As an unemployed youth, you've been paying tax. I think that's something for you should be proud of somehow. Last, your money has been going to government somehow. So can you comment now and tell me now what you've been paying tax for that you never knew? All those your cinemas, all those your small cream, your this, your that, you've been paying tax. Yeah. So put in the comment section now. Let's see it. What have you been paying tax for?
Even your data.
Which
is the daily consumption, highly consumed them.
Exactly.
What's it called? A commodity every day.
Youths, we consume data. Yeah. But let's go to the next question. Yeah. So, if tax is so important, why is there so much distrust on this taxation thing? Why is it that Nigerians, we cannot? Now you've explained it to us. But there's one part, the Nigerian part of me, you said for public. For public. I remember I saw the president. Was it 10 billion naira for solar? Is it our money? Is it our money that is doing that one? Because
that is it. It's part of our money.
It's part of our money. So, as a Nigerian now, can you explain to us why is there so much distrust around these taxation issues?
There's a common say that when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse become inevitable, and also resources are wasted, so to say. Now, I took us back to the foundation of tax matters, and the foundation is the fact that we want to pull out resources together. The objective of pulling the resources together is to fund public expenditures.
Wow.
So the narrative gradually changed, where the focus is now no longer public expenditure funding, but personal, private, pocket, and stomach infrastructure.
That's deep.
Yeah. So it's just like we pull resources together. The way we look at this tax thing, it's looking too complex. It's not supposed to be a complex matter,
it looks
actually.
Very complex.
So let's take, for instance, we are 100 in our place of work, and then 2% is taken from everybody's salary, constant, and we pull it out together in a particular purse or in a particular account. And maybe you lost someone dear to you. You have an emergency. Yeah. You just apply for that fund from there without any form of interest. The idea of keeping that money there so that we have an emergency place where we can all run through. Now, imagine that resources pulled together, and then whoever is in charge now goes ahead to buy a house with it.
You need to go to Dubai.
Or Dubai. You get it.
Living la vida loca.
Living la vida loca. You get it.
Yeah.
The question will be, will you be happy to put in 2% again?
Never. If I even catch that person.
If you kill the person. So exactly what's happening in the nation.
Yeah.
People are paying taxes. When I mean people are paying tax, in hundreds of millions, organizations are paying tax in this very nation.
Yeah.
In this very nation, they are paying taxes. So the reason why that distrust came in now is because we are paying, but it looks like we are not seeing the evidence. They say you go explain, tire.
Yeah.
No evidence.
No evidence.
The challenge is the fact that Nigerians are looking out for, hey, we still have our public expenditure unattended to, or we are attending to them ourselves, yet there's a money we are paying because of the same public expenditure.
So now this means that every single Nigerian is, maybe apart from a baby, because now I'm thinking with this tax thing, I'm thinking market women. So all those agberos that come to collect money, they are paying tax. Keke, drivers, those that work in structured organizations. In fact, you are paying tax not because you want to, because it's going to be taken either ways. So you are paying tax on all those things, and there is no dividend on it.
So that's where the major challenge comes in. And when it comes to issue of tax, direct or indirect, whether direct tax or indirect tax, we're all paying one way or the other. One way or the other. Because if you say a baby is not paying tax and the mother goes and buy nano, 1, 2, 3, what they call that for nan, right? And she pays tax. Who is consuming the nan? The baby, right? The baby. Whether she likes it or not, that tax is already.
Baby go work.
Baby has to work to make money, right? So this distrust is just because there's a major disparity between what is expected versus what we are seeing. Just like the commons in Nigeria, what I ordered
versus what I got. Exactly.
So what we ordered by paying our tax is good governance. What we ordered by paying our tax is that our schools are fixed.
Yeah.
Is that we'll have good roads so that I don't need to change my car shockers over almost every year. Is that I have lights so that I'm not burning money on diesel. Is that there's security so that I can work at night. That's the essence. That's what we ordered for via our tax.
You forgot one.
Which is that?
Is that they will not pour water on me because I'm working on the road. It's pothole now. They'll pour water on me now.
That one you need to hustle. That one you need to
If they repair the road, that part
you need to hustle. Okay, they don't pour you water, you may enter water by yourself. One might still happen, so you might need to hustle that part, right? So basically that's it. What we ordered is by paying those taxes, company income tax, petroleum profit tax, what's it called? For those working, you pay as you earn.
Yeah, pay.
It's being deducted.
It's being deducted, exactly.
So you can just imagine the number of people working in this country by the deductions. That is one side. Right? So a lot of other taxes are out there. We've talked about VAT already. Company income that we'll talk about. So a lot of taxes are out there. But the question is, why did we even put out this tax in the first place? Everybody should have been making their full money. Imagine companies working and not paying anything as tax. Everybody would have been fine, right? But we say, no, let us pull these resources together. So the challenge is, we ordered for A. We are looking for A, actually, but we can't find it. And every relationship is built on what? Trust.
Trust, exactly.
If we say why we are giving this thing out is because we expect that you should do ABC. If we don't see first time, second time, we are human. By default, you are demoralized to pay the next one. So that's just the major challenge why we are having this distrust when it comes to issue of paying tax willingly in this country.
That explains it. That explains why we don't like the topic. That explains it. That explains it, to be honest. But that leads me to my next question.
Yeah.
You said the purpose of taxes is that, I help bringing resources together for our good. Now, I was reading this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, by Robert, what's the name? Kiyosaki. And he mentioned that the point of taxes was like this Robin Hood story. And like the point of taxes was to get from the rich to help the poor. But now in the US or in America, it's really the middle class earners and maybe the poor paying these taxes. It has changed. And the elites, the rich people, they found ways to legally evade paying taxes. So I want to ask, because I'm kind of seeing the same scenario, but I'm not sure. I'm not a finance person. You are. So you're going to tell us. Is this the same thing happening in Nigeria? Are there people that are elites that are evading taxes? Are there incentives for them? Meanwhile, so is it that while people are going on trips with taxpayers' money on the back of middle class earners and the poor people?
Well, this is a very deep one, but I'll see the best I can do to this. Now, people are not really against paying tax. They are only against paying taxes and not getting value.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I don't like to pay tax. That's not the problem of Nigerians. The challenge is we are paying, but it looks like we're not seeing the reason why we're paying. I just needed to say that to help speak up. So, talking about whether or not taxing is done on the poor or on the rich to balance the economy, right? I think that's what you're looking at. Now, there must be an unbiased approach to tax. And this is where people always a bit fight me when I talk about tax. We must be very, very unbiased, right?
Okay.
Because you could be the rich person and you could be the poor person.
Yeah.
You might, some persons have tested the both. Okay. In fact, some tested 3. They were poor, rich, they are back to poor. So, you know what that means, right?
Yeah.
They were and then they're back. So, but now, the ideology of from the rich getting some certain things to now take care of the poor. Now, this can be used as a tool to balance the economy, but it is not mandatory. Those rich people are human beings too. They are guided by the same principles and the same constitution that is guiding the poor person.
Okay.
So if we must be very objective, it is not something that is quite interesting that let's overburden the rich. No, they are citizens too. The same law guides them. That they make money is not a crime. That you want to kill them, right? Yeah. So, but there should be that form of cooperation, right? You as you're talking about the reason why even the wealthy people can't flaunt their riches is because the tax attached to the riches, it keeps everybody humble. But it's so unfortunate that here reverse is the case.
Yeah.
The big shots, why they will not pay is because their brother is in FRS. Hello, Alpha, make a tax clearance certificate for 2025 ready for my company. Yes, sir. Because you don't make it ready. That's best I gave you a job. You don't make it ready, you're out of the job already. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So they are part of the problem. The elites, the people, quote and unquote, the high playing people they are part of the problem we are having in terms of tax. If you check the statistics of tax, people who are paying tax, over 60% of them are average business people and average individuals in the country.
Wow.
Yes. The, so to say, people that we should really look up, most of them are they are one way or the other under tax evasion. They are just, some gave themselves tax holiday. They gave themselves, of course, it's not that they were given. Tax holidays and that time I would have loved to explain, but let me leave that for the sake of time, or for the work of time. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you so much, Mr. Adam. You've helped us. You've given us the simplest form to understand what taxes are. But before I let you go, you are going to take the place of a leader.
Yes.
So like now, as you are seated like this now, you've been appointed as the chairman of FIRS.
We're looking forward to that, actually.
So you've been appointed.
Yeah.
And your first job, do you want to be adjusting and thinking of it well? Because your first job is really hot seat. Your first job is that you need to give us 3 things you would do to make taxation effective, fair, and worth it for Nigerians. But you have to do this in 30 seconds.
All right, straight to the point. 3 things I'll give Nigerians tea.
Explain.
Tea, not Milo.
Not
and
tea.
tea.
Okay, tea.
Yeah, so 3 things. Tea, transparency. Let them see transparency in the process of collecting their taxes, where it is going to. Yeah. And then it will help gradually. Mind you, trust was lost. It's easy to destroy than to build. You won't get the trust back as a rocket science. It's going to take time. But like I said, I'll give Nigerian tea.
Yeah.
I'll give them trust. I will give them efficiency.
Okay.
Efficiency, very important. Then lastly, I'll give them accountability. That's what Nigerians are looking for. Once they get this tea, I guarantee you, the whole thing will be restored. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Joseph Adam. And thank you to you, our viewers, for watching to the end. So we've heard it. Taxes are not really a bad thing. Like, I think I have changed my orientation right now. So it's not really a bad thing, but just that we just want accountability, like what Mr. Joseph has said. And so we hope and we pray that our government begins to show us that. Let's see what we should not be hearing that they are going to use 10 billion for solar panel, and I'll be shouting, "Hey, my money is inside there."
See that you have problem with this solar panel.
I have problem with it, please. So, I hope you learned a thing or two. Till we see you next time, my name is Akaresi Akwayevu Mukoro. Make sure to subscribe, click on the notification button so you are the first to know when the next gist drops. My name is Akaresi Akwayevu Mukoro again, and this is In Their Shoes.